was then booked for simulation for basically diving, which was not evident first, in real life, in real time, sort of thing. So they can get it right, and I think that's good. But when you get something like that Liverpool goal from Van Dijk, it not it must hit them in the guts. The professional footballers, when they've scored what it really is a perfectly good goal, and most pundits and commentators agreed it probably was a good goal, then there's nothing you can do about it. And who knows, maybe that's the price we just have to put up with, some incorrect decisions along the way. As long as most are correct, then I suppose that's the price of it. And without it, humans, the assistant ref, the ref, they make mistakes as well. That's the nature of the beast, isn't it?
Yeah. Um, because when they did the analysis on Match of the Day, and they were talking about, oh, but that could have given them a little bit of a boost, sort of if it been one, if it been level at 1-1.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
thought they've got a point. But Manchester
yeah.
City really outplayed them. I watched the game and I thought they really, really outplayed them. But anyway, now still on Liverpool, something that was a quote by a former Arsenal manager. What's his name? Arsene Wenger.
Wenger, isn't it? Arsene Wenger. Yeah,
Arsene Wenger. Yeah. And this is what he said about the Liverpool attack, and and about a particular player a player in particular, Wales, Florian Wales. He said Liverpool is an interesting example. When Wales had the choice between going to Bayern, which is Bayern Munich, or to Liverpool, he said to Liverpool, I'll come to you if I play number 10. I don't
mm,
want to play wide. So Liverpool, to get him, said, okay. So they destroyed their midfield because their midfield was Gravenberch, McAllister, and Slobos. We know who we're talking about. I can't seem to
yeah.
pronounce that name.
Well, he's
Uh,
pretty much their best player as well at the moment, isn't he?
yeah,
Slobosai,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
Sloboside, yeah. Now, what do you make of that comment?
Well, it's interesting what Wenger said. He
Mm,
said, and he made that point. But also, I think the manager of the club he came from, I forget which club he came from, but the manager had a real go at Liverpool by saying that they're not beginning to get the best out of Wirtz. He's a great player. He will score lots of goals. But what he was saying was, Liverpool players, they don't seem to sort of take many shots, take the chances, have a shot here. They try and almost walk it in with their passing.
mm,
Whereas Wirtz is very good at, coming in for a saved shot, or he gets in the right place to pick up rebounds and stuff like that. Now, be that as it may, I mean, that may or may not be the case. I thought it was interesting that his previous manager made those comments, because I gather the thinking might be that the money they paid for him, and it was a lot of money, wasn't it?
mm,
Is not being repaid. He's not yet showing what he can do. And I
mm,
suppose, coming to his defence, the previous guy said, "Well, you're not really playing him in the right way." Well, that's fine, and I'm sure there's something in it. But he said, "I'll come to you if you make me a number 10,"
mm,
meaning I don't want to go out to the right and so on. That's fine. That's all part of the negotiations that will go on between player and his new club. And presumably they reach an agreement and say this is what will happen. But if it turns out that Liverpool, as you said, changed their midfield to accommodate this guy, accommodate this
mm,
guy,
mm.
then that could have an impact in various ways. It might put existing players' noses out of joint. I mean, I've noticed that McAllister, I think he started on Sunday, but he's not been starting recently. Now, whether he's just off form a bit, I don't know, but unusual for them not to be playing him, a World Cup winner with Argentina.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know. Should a club change the nature of how it plays to accommodate an incomer? Well, personally, I would have thought in most cases, or all cases,
Mm.
the player, if he's good enough and wants to go to that club, has to adapt to their style of play. They're not going to be playing the same way as his previous team. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a, I don't know, a disagreement. If it is a disagreement, that's going to be difficult to remedy because he's obviously a very good player, but it may just be taking him time to adapt to Liverpool's style of play. What I find quite strange is that Liverpool started off apparently all cylinders firing for the first 5 games.
Mm.
Having lost 5 games and the following 6 after the 5 wins, they lost 5 of the next 6 Premier League games. I mean, that's quite an incredible turnaround of fortune for one of the top clubs who are still likely to finish in the top 4 at the end of the season. I imagine they should do because they're that good. But something has gone a bit awry at Liverpool. Now, whether it is the introduction of 1 or 2 new players, or Wirtz in particular, I don't
Mm.
know. It's hard, isn't it, for us to judge? But clearly, Slot doesn't seem to be having the impact that he did last year. Okay, we know it was Klopp's team to a large extent, but that
Mm.
doesn't mean they're automatically going to go on winning every game. Slot had to have his impact, but he doesn't seem to be enjoying the same level of not just success but confidence from the team. I don't know. You often have to say if a team is losing, 5 out of their last 6 Premier League games, Liverpool, of all people, who won their first 5 games, albeit against some of the lower teams that still won them, to
Mm.
then lose 5 out of 6, something seems to have gone wrong there. Now,
Yeah.
they'll probably correct it. Players will come good who new into the team. But at the moment, it's looking a very strange situation. And they won't have been happy losing 3-0 to one of their rivals, Manchester City, who themselves
Yeah.
have been through tough times. So that was a very poor result for Liverpool, but clearly not helped by, in my opinion, an incorrect VAR decision, which may have made a whole difference to the game. Probably like you were implying, it probably wouldn't have made a difference because they were outclassed by Manchester City. But that has to be on the basis that